like to welcome everyone to the February 13th meeting of the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners. Happy Valentine's Day. Let me just say, for those of you that are less thoughtful than you should be, there are 4 things, gentlemen, that you don't need to do. One is her anniversary date. The other is her birth date. And then her Mother's Day. And the 4th one is Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow. So if you've not done it, go to Kroger tonight and pick her up something before tomorrow morning. This time I'll call on our chaplain, Romel McMurray.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call up to if Pastor Vincent Windrow of Olive Branch Missionary Baptist Church would please come up. He's going to lead our invocation for this evening. And while he's coming, since he said it's the love month, I just want you to turn to your neighbor and say, I love you. There you go.
I'm so delighted to be here. I was born in my grandmother's house on Old Nashville Highway in the cemetery community many, many years ago. And so it's always a pleasure to be back with you. Let us pray. God, we give you thanks and praise for another day to give you thanks and praise. God, you deserve it for blessing us in so many ways. You've blessed us completely and thoroughly and repeatedly and consistently. We give you thanks and praise for this great gathering of commissioners and citizens. We thank you for the rapport and the relationship between commissioner and citizen. We give you thanks and praise for those who will be celebrated today for their many and mighty contributions to our county and to this area. We give you thanks and praise for these commissioners who serve. We give you thanks and praise, God, that you have blessed them with intelligence and wisdom. If they lack wisdom, God, you said for them to come to you and you'll give it to them liberally. We give you thanks and praise, God, for their stamina, God. May they find within themselves courage, and may they find within each other compromise and collaboration. We give you thanks and praise for these proceedings. Bless it, bless them, bless all of us. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time, I'll call on our Rutherford County Clerk, Lisa Crowell, to call the roll. Please, Lisa.
Commissioner Oliver.
Present.
Commissioner Piercy.
Here.
Commissioner Rather.
Here.
Commissioner P.
Here.
Commissioner Davison.
Here.
Commissioner Beverly.
Here.
Commissioner Cush.
Present.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner James.
Here.
Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
Commissioner Anthony Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Boyd.
Here.
Commissioner Paul Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Irvin.
Here.
Commissioner Harris. Here. Commissioner Dodd. Here. Chairman Phillips.
Present.
Commissioner McAdoo. Here. Commissioner McMurray.
Here.
Commissioner Gooch.
Here.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yeah.
We have a quorum, 21 present.
Thank you, Lisa. Item E, reading and approval of our January 16th meeting minutes. I'll call on Chairman Pro Tem Gooch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The minutes are in order, and so I move that we dispense with the reading and approve them as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the January 16th meeting minutes. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you. Item F, we have a special recognition, and I'll call on Commissioner Hope Oliver.
Good evening. Will Miss Mary Watkins please come forth? This is a resolution honoring you for your extraordinary service and leadership in Rutherford County. Whereas the celebration of Black History Month is a positive way of recognizing the culture and history of African Americans as vital to the core beliefs and values of our society. And whereas the contributions of African Americans have been vital to the growth and development of Rutherford County, Tennessee. And with this, the Rutherford County Mayor and Board of Commissioners would like to recognize you, Ms. Mary Patterson Watkins, for your contributions to Rutherford County, Tennessee. And whereas Ms. Mary Patterson Watkins is one of 9 children born to Walter and Samella Patterson, she is a native of Rutherford County, Tennessee, and the mother of 4 sons and grandmother of 7. Whereas Mary Patterson Watkins received her Bachelor of Science degree in Art and Sociology from Middle Tennessee State University, and 2 endorsements in special education from the University of Tennessee at Nashville and University of Tennessee at Martin. She was employed by the Tennessee Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disability for 23 years and retired from Rutherford County Board of Education with 16 years of service. She has been honored as Riverdale High School Teacher of the Year, Rutherford County Middle Tennessee, I'm looking at this very wrongly, I apologize. Rutherford County High School Teacher of the Year, Who's Who Among High School Teachers, Trailblazer and Education Award from Middle Tennessee State University, and Daily News Journal implemented the Rutherford County Transition Academy at MTSU, developed profiles for athletes for students to assist in getting scholarships for college. And whereas Ms. Watkins has received numerous other awards and recognition, which include African American Heritage Society Founders Award in 2024, Tennessee Historical Commission Certificate of Merit 2024, Murfreesboro Muslim Youth Person of the Year 2023, Rutherford County Heritage Society Community Service Award 2021, Leading Ladies Project Historian for the Party of 12 Play in 2022, Unity Luncheon Unsung Hero Award in African American Arts at MTSU 2018. She was featured in Collage, a Journal of Creative Expression, from MTSU Student to Community Icon in 2020, NAACP Woman of the Year 2015, and Recognition Award from the Department of Education, Division of College and Career Readiness in 2011. Awesome. Whereas Ms. Watkins is an active member of the African American Heritage Society of Rutherford County, in which she is one of the 3 founding members, and served as president from the inception until in 2014 until 2024. The organization focuses on discovering, preserving, teaching, and sharing the heritage and history of African Americans here in Rutherford County. She is also a genealogy instructor for the African American Voices, past and present, of Rutherford County at Patterson Community Center from 2012 to present. She conducts art camps for youth and art activities for seniors, sketch artist for Murfreesboro Discovery Center during MLK Day. She is also a playwright and director of many plays and skits performed throughout Rutherford County. Ms. Watkins also serves on the advisory board for Oakland's Mansion, Rutherford County Historic Courthouse Museum Board, and volunteers at Cat Choreography Dance Studio. And whereas Ms. Watkins has been a pillar in the Rutherford County community for decades in many facets, and therefore be it resolved that in recognition of Black History Month 2025, the Rutherford County Mayor and Board of Commissioners express their great appreciation for the outstanding contributions made by Ms. Mary Patterson Watkins to the citizens and youth of Rutherford County, Tennessee. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be entered permanently into the archives of the 2025 Rutherford County Board of Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Thank you. Do you have guests with you? Do you have any guests with you? Do you have any guests with you? They can come up there. They can come up there.
I would just like to thank the commissioners for honoring me. This is just an honor. I'm a little nervous. It's an honor to be here and everything. And I want to thank God for giving me the strength to do the things that I do. So much have been given to me, and I feel like I have to give back. Not because I want accolades, but I thank you all for this. And I do have church members, family members, members of the African American Hair Society, and here to support me, and I want to thank you all for that and everything.
They can come up for a picture. Yes.
Will y'all please stand that's here, that's to support me, my family, and she said y'all can come up and take a picture. All of my family, whatever, y'all can come up and take a picture with me, so. Oh, Mark Craig made it. Boy, don't you start acting silly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Oliver. And Ms. Watkins, on behalf of Rutherford County government, thank you for your service to our community. Thank you. Item G, we have another one, Commissioner Romel McMurray.
I would like to call up Mr. Jerry and Carrie Marable. If you could come up, please. As they come, there's just a saying, it's a song that says, "Give me my flowers," and usually it's, we want to try to show others and show respect and give people their flowers while they're living and not while they're, dead and gone. So this is kind of why we're doing this. But this is a resolution honoring Carrie and Jerry Marable, as known as the Marable twins, for their extraordinary service and leadership in Rutherford County, Tennessee. Whereas the celebration of Black History Month is a positive way of recognizing the culture and history of African Americans as vital to the core beliefs and values of our society. And whereas the contributions of African Americans have been vital to the growth and development of Rutherford County, Tennessee, and with us, the Rutherford County Mayor and the Board of Commissioners would like to recognize Carrie and Jerry Marable for their contributions to Rutherford County, Tennessee. And whereas Carrie and Jerry Marable were born and raised in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, they are proud graduates of Riverdale High School. Carrie participated in numerous extracurricular activities and was named Riverdale High School's most talented senior for the class of 1992. Jerry was a member of the basketball team and was named to the 1991 All-Rutherford County Boys Basketball Team. And whereas a gifted sports announcer, Carrie Marable, tell them which one it is. As a gifted sports announcer, Carrie Marable is known as The Voice. He has announced many sporting events across the country that include Tina Thompson's She Got Game Classic in Washington, D.C., the John Greer State Farm Thanksgiving Basketball Classic, which is now the K. Maynard State Farm Classic in Lebanon, Tennessee, the Sonic Super Slam, and the Peach State Hoops Classic in Atlanta, Georgia. Carrie Marable is labeled as the voice of Rutherford County and is the 2017 recipient of the NAACP WIN Community Service Award. Carrie is married to Erica Smith Malone. They have a daughter, Kalia Marie, and goddaughter, Bella Marie. Carrie has been employed by the Rutherford County School System for over 29 years and currently works at Stewart's Creek High School, where they call him the character coach. And whereas Dr. Jerry D. Marable is a dedicated educator, pastor, community leader, known for his commitment to empowering individuals and enriching lives. He earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from American Baptist College in Nashville, Tennessee, and a Master of Divinity degree from Morehouse School of Religion at the Interdenominational Theological Center in Ministry degree from Memphis Theological Seminary, along as an honorary doctorate degree from St. Thomas University in Jacksonville, Florida. Dr. Marable is married to Courtney P. Marable and has spent the last 12 years pastoring at the historic Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church on Maple Street here off the square. And whereas inspired by Carrie singing a duet with their mother at Silver Springs Missionary Baptist Church, Carrie and Jerry Marable began their singing career. When their father, Reverend Bruce Marable, would travel to preach, the Marable twins rendered fiery gospel tunes, and they have been singing together for over 45 years. As renowned recording artists, the Marable twins have traveled the country singing their gospel greats as lead singers of the acclaimed gospel group, the Marable Twins and Company. One of the most notable recording projects, The Time Is Now, featuring such hits as Holy Spirit and Recommend Jesus, is a fan favorite. I know that's one of mine. The Marable Twins' mantra is, "We want our lyrics to lift the Lord, our music to magnify the Master, and our songs to spotlight the Savior." And whereas Carrie and Jerry Marable have been pillars in the Rutherford County community for decades in many facets, and therefore be it resolved that in recognition of Black History Month 2025, the Rutherford County Mayor and Board of Commissioners express their great appreciation for the outstanding contributions made by Carrie and Jerry Marable to the citizens and youth of Rutherford County, Tennessee. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be entered permanently into the archives of the 2025 Rutherford County Board of Commissioners. Signed on this 13th day of February 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I want to say we're grateful to the county mayor, the commissioners. We're humbled and honored for this opportunity to be recognized, and we receive this with so much joy. My twin brother and I have strived to be men of integrity, men to make a difference in not only the lives of those we know, that individuals that we may not ever come into contact with. Our mantra is, if we can help somebody, then our living will not be in vain. And we have discovered that helping people is what we are called to do, and we are so honored to be here tonight, and we will be forever grateful for this day. It is a part of our lives, and we'll be able to share this with so many others, that if you just walk upright, if you just treat people right, if you do what's right by God, God will honor you. And we want to tell you thank you. From the bottom of our hearts to the balcony in our soul, we say thank you. Echoing what my twin brother said, every day when I get up and I travel to Stewart's Creek High School and I see our director of schools here, Dr. Sullivan, I tell people I don't got to, I get to. I don't got to, I get to. And that's how I get through the day when you were dealing with so many children that are at risk and so many people need a resolve to the issues. And I will stand in front of you no matter what our political beliefs are. I need you and you need me to survive. And I pray that we all come together and stay together because there's unity in our community.
If the family members want to come up real quick.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Carrie and Jerry, on behalf of the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners, thank you for your extinguished service to our community. Thank you. Item H, resolution of recognition for 2024 Central Magnet School Cross Country Boys Division I Class A/AA State Champions. Commissioner Dodd.
Thank you, Chairman. As Coach Wyndham and Dr. Ash and the entire Central team come up, as they're coming forward, I want to echo, Mayor Carr did a State of the County address on Tuesday. He recognized that not only Central Magnet School, but McFadden School of Excellence continue to be ranked as tops in the state of Tennessee in education. And Central Magnet School is also continues to be ranked as tops in the nation. So in addition to this athletic endeavor, gentlemen, and Dr. Ash, congratulations for your global exposure. Thanks, everyone. Again, a resolution of recognition for the 2024 Central Magnet High School Cross Country Boys Team. Whereas the 2024 Central Magnet School Cross Country Boys Team captured the TSSAA Division I Class A/AA State Championship on November 7th, 2024, with an average time of 16:43. And I'll pause here to say when I call your name, please just raise your hand so we'll be able to recognize each one individually. Whereas the boys team members are Ty Brown, Nate Dyer, Harrison Hamby, Henry Nance, Blake Nutter, Carson Phillips, Aiden Walker, and alternates Luca Guevara, Ben Hogan, Miles Ritter, and Jaden Yoder. Whereas this has been an exciting and successful season, and special commendation is due to Coach Jay Wyndham, Assistant Coach Lacey Now, Assistant Coach Clay Dyer, Principal John Ash, and Athletic Director Mark Kirksey for their dedication and commitment which made these championships possible, and for bringing this fine publicity to our community by their good sportsmanship and inspired team play. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that we extend this resolution of recognition to the 2024 Central Magnet School Cross Country Boys Team, Coach Wyndham, Coach Now, Assistant Coach Dyer, Principal Ash, and Athletic Director Kirksey for their successful year. Mr. Chairman, resolve this 13th day of February 2025, I so move.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Anybody want to speak? We'll have one comment, and are you going to sing?
Yeah, I don't think you want me
Okay,
to.
all right.
I don't think you want me to. Thank you, Commissioner Dodd, Mr. Mayor, and Commissioners for having us tonight. We love our team and look for every opportunity that we can to show them off and celebrate their successes. So the 11 guys that we have represented on this team, not all could make it here tonight, made up our state meet team, those who both ran and the alternates who trained with these guys all season. So cross country is kind of like golf. You want to have the lowest score possible, and we add up average times to do that. This team made history this season. They ran the fastest average team time that we have in school history. So we were really excited about that. They put in a lot of work. Our theme for the season was legacy, and we really leaned a lot on our upperclassmen, especially our seniors, Henry Nance, who wants to give a shout out especially to his 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Rather, and Ty Brown, who could not make it tonight, and are excited about the legacy that they will leave behind. This is our 3rd boys championship in school history, and we think that's really exciting and also impressive since our school was only opened in 2010. So just a few thanks. Thank you to all of you, especially Commissioner Dodd, for setting this up. Thank you to our Rutherford County School Board and District Administration, to Dr. Ash and our other principals for supporting us, and to our parents, team members, and those who couldn't be here tonight, but we're here along with these guys all season, pushing them and making them better. So thank you.
Almost 6:30, so we'll skip down to item M for our public hearings, and I'll call on our planning director, Doug DeMasi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, Commissioners. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. We just have one rezoning request for your consideration tonight. This is by Jeffrey Howland. This is located at 3273 and 3299 Las Casas Pike, 2 separate properties. The existing zoning is commercial neighborhood and residential medium density. The proposed zoning is commercial services for portions of both tracts, and I'll explain that here in just a moment. The size of the site overall is 32 acres, but they're looking for just a little bit less than 5 acres for the rezoning that we'll be discussing. The applicant would like to rezone this property for, and this comes right out of their application, future use development for commercial uses concerned with retail trade and consumer services consistent with the Commercial Services District, or CS, zoning classification. And there are 2 parts to the request. The first is the rezoning of the property at 3299 Las Casas Pike. There is an existing gas station convenience market on this property, which is about 0.8 acres in size. This would be zoned from commercial neighborhood, CN, to commercial services, and then rezoning about 4 acres from RM to commercial services for the property located at 3273 Las Casas Pike, which is the larger tract. You'll find in your agenda packets on your iPads an exhibit that shows the extent of the zoning changes. Since there's no current development plans, there's not a concept plan that was submitted along with this application. There is an existing single-family home on the larger tract that will become what's called a legally established nonconforming use, essentially a grandfathered use, should this application be approved. Those are something that we can handle through Chapter 13 in the event that the use is discontinued, those kind of things. Access, parking, and landscaping would all have to be brought up to county standards. The applicant is aware of that along with our performance standards. Following staff's presentation at the Planning Commission, the commissioners had questions about potential intersection improvements at Compton Road and Las Casas Pike. We did answer at that time that TDOT would have to be involved since both roads, at least the main part of Compton Road and Las Casas Pike, are both state roads. East Compton Road is a county road, so there'd be a joint participation with that. There were also questions about the potential uses of the property and how that would impact tax assessment. Following those questions in a public hearing, the Planning Commission did recommend approval of this application by a unanimous vote. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for Mr. DeMasi? None. I'll declare the public hearing open for item REZ 25-001, rezoning request for Jeffrey Howland. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this zoning request, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Commissioner P.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make a motion to approve with the planning, including the Planning Commission's recommendations.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you.
All I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeMasi. Getting back to our agenda, item I, we're open for public comments. We've had 9 individuals to sign up for public comments. We'll go down the list in order, and I'll remind everyone that you have 3 minutes to make your comments, and please be mindful of the time of the people who are here, so stay within that 3 minutes. The first person to sign up is Laura Clark, and her topic is Tribute to Rutherford County Families. Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commission. My name is Laura Clark. We've heard some fabulous stories tonight of some remarkable people in our county. I want to tell you a few more stories about some unsung heroes right here in Rutherford and Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. And because the stories we're hearing currently right now about our immigrant families and immigrant neighbors are not always good. They're scary. They're not good stories. I know some good stories, and I want to share them in tribute to these families that are in our communities. One of the stories is there's a young couple who came here starting from scratch, and they started with one sewing machine in a very small apartment, and over time grew a business into a sewing, embroidering, and screen printing business, raising 2 little girls, excelling in Murfreesboro City Schools, and they finally were able to purchase a house here in Murfreesboro City. And as we know, buying your first house is a big deal. Another story that you will not hear in the news, there's a young woman whose mother crossed the desert, and this young woman grew up, joined the U.S. Navy, served in the Navy, came back, went to MTSU, got her bachelor's degree, and became a project engineer, a project manager in Nashville with a major construction company. And one last story, a little tiny unsung hero, one of my neighbors, a little second grade boy who I befriended in my neighborhood. He ran up to me one day and said, "Ms. Clark, I have a test tomorrow," and he knows I'm a teacher. And I said, "Oh, what is your test?" He said, "ESL." And I said, are you ready for your test?" "Yes." "Are you going to do well?" Eat a good breakfast, sleep well, and you will do well." "Yes, ma'am." And so he is working hard to learn English through the ESL programs that we have heard discussed in recent news. I'm speaking on behalf of these honorable, wonderful, hardworking, resilient families that live here as our neighbors, and I want to give tribute to them because we don't always hear these stories. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Next is Barbara Donnell. Her topic is the bus contract.
Hello, my name is Barbara Donnell, and I am a bus contractor here in Rutherford County. I am coming before you tonight to speak of what is becoming a dirty subject in our county, money. The bus contractors are asking for a 34.8% raise, but I want to share with you why we are asking for this amount. If you look at the cost analysis that's been provided for you, you can see that the cost of being a contractor has went up 50% over the last 4 years. And we have only been given a 14% raise during that time period. This raise is crucial for us to remain in business and keep transporting the students of Rutherford County safely to and from school each day. A lot of our bus contractors are generational contractors. Their dads were contractors, now they're contractors, and they've grown up, they've transported these kids, mothers, some of them grandparents, to school, and now they're transporting the kids of these parents. So we take what we do very seriously, and in order to drive a bus, you most definitely have to love children because it's a trying job sometimes, but we all love what we do. I've also provided in your packet a copy of the minimum pay stub from 2014 and one from 2024. This shows you the pay difference over the last decade. As you can see, for the last 10 years, we have only received $2,035, which equals to $1.13 per day over the last 10 years. And that won't even buy us a gallon of diesel. It was brought up that the minimum pay in our last contract was increased from 50 to 60 miles. This increase is what we had to do to get the raise we got from our last contract. So we upped our miles in order to get our raise. So instead of the 50 miles that we were being paid in our base contract, it went up to 60. Just to clarify, that this is loaded miles, and we are not paid for deadhead miles. So the miles from my house to my first stop are on me. I give those. The county does not pay me for that. We submit an affidavit at the beginning of each school year to show our loaded miles, and this is how our pay is determined. And it's notarized, and we turn it in to the transportation department. We know this is a lot of money that we're asking for, but this is what we need to keep providing the service to our students each day. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you, and we certainly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Donnell. Next is Michael Cush, and he has an apology.
Hello, everybody. This is a public apology that I felt like I needed to give. Last week at the Public Works Committee, I gave a counterpoint, let's say, to some discussion regarding Republic landfill. And I was talking about some statistics and numbers and how statistics manipulated. And this was, by the way, this was a discussion that was on the fly, unprepared, no notes, just from the hip. And in this statistics analogy that I gave, I hearkened back to a statistic teacher 40 years ago back at my university in statistics class that he gave, and it was the best one I could come to at the second. And what it was a comparison to a female in some swimwear. For those of you who were there, you heard it. So I went on and finished my counterpoint, came home, was chastised by my wife, which was okay. Next day, I had some emails from some ladies in women's groups that reminded me of my error, which was good, because it truly was an error. I did a stupid thing, and it was ignorant. Sexist comment that shouldn't have been said, and I got one particular email from a lady I'll just call Lee, and she gave me some statistics, which I wanted to share. She said in the U.S., last year, there were 463,634 victims ages 12 and older of rape or sexual assault. And those kind of statistics made me feel really, really bad. Kind of thing I did say the night before. So I owe all the women in Rutherford County and the state, everywhere, an apology. Words can hurt, phrases can hurt, and Lee and others reminded me of that. And as a public official, I need to do better. We all need to do better. So my humble apologies. Dumb thing to say, and I'm here to ask for forgiveness and humbly apologize. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cush. Next is Susan Allen, Plan Rutherford.
Good evening. My name is Susan Allen. I live on Nelson Lane in Murfreesboro. Rutherford Neighborhood Alliance members have been meeting weekly for the better part of a month, studying and discussing the Plan Rutherford draft, chapter by chapter, page by page. We felt it was important to dedicate this time because we not only wanted to familiarize ourselves with the draft, but also to be able to address the concerns expressed by the Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors on their Protect Rutherford website concerning property rights, housing affordability, decreased economic development, and higher taxes. It is our opinion that all of these concerns are addressed in the Plan Rutherford draft. In the copy of our findings that we handed to you tonight, our summary on property rights is that this plan will not take away property rights because the plan is for guidance only and recommendation purposes. Concerning housing affordability, we summarize that while there is a nationwide shortage of housing, a primary objective of the plan is to ensure a mix of housing choices for county residents, including those of low to moderate income. Concerning decreased economic development, we concluded from the many findings in Chapter 6 that the plan will ensure the county development process improves the county's tax base. Lastly, concerning higher taxes in Chapters 4 and 8, the plan recommends wise land use planning, which makes use of existing or planned infrastructure, reducing the likelihood of higher taxes for those purposes. You will see that we have gone into more detail on each of these concerns, referencing specific chapters and pages to help you understand how we arrived at our conclusions. We appreciate each and every one of you and hope that the information we've provided tonight will help you as you study the Plan Rutherford draft, which, it must be remembered, is for guidance and recommendation purposes only. As a reminder, you can find the Plan Rutherford document at planrutherford.org or on the RutherfordNeighborhoodAlliance.org website on our news page. It's also on our issues page under land use. And a copy of our study results are also on the news page. By the way, since the RNA encourages greater citizen engagement, we've included commissioners' contact information on our website with links to their emails. So there's no excuse for you not to contact your county commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Carl Baring, Plan Rutherford. Carl not here. Christy Miller. Topic is the landfill.
Scarier now that I'm up here. Okay, I was asked to represent a much larger group of county constituents today, all who have been concerned.
Miller, would you?
All whom are concerned that many of the sitting commissioners may have forgotten who their fiduciaries are, and that the true meaning of the words and the oaths in which they took. This does pertain to the 2018 unanimous vote to not expand the landfill here at Middle Point. There are sincere concerns regarding commissioners' self-dealings in the selling out of the common homeowner for the greater benefit of your own pocketbooks, or to utilize opportunistic corporations to bribe their voting members within their communities with scoreboards for their schools, turf for schools, community centers in their areas. One of the larger concerns that has come up that the larger group is working on is potential secret payments via cryptocurrency. Now, I know many of you guys, personally, and I don't know that that is true or if it's just speculation, but I'm asking that you guys hold each other to a higher standard, just as we would have expectations that you would hold us to. One of the concerns that came up as they're continuing to research and they're continuing to give information is that one of the commissioners has been in violation of the residency requirements since 2017, and that some have been some have been aware and some haven't. So I've got some documentation in the back that I can provide to you. I've been encouraged to request that a special meeting be set at a later date to go over what has been a violation since 2017, which is, and I've heard he's a great man, the chairman of the board has, according to tax records, has resided in Townsend, Tennessee, which is a violation of state guidelines, as well as the requirements for qualified county commission position. So if you don't hold each other accountable to the laws that are set before us, that the expectations are that we are held to as well, and you don't keep that higher standard and know who your constituents are and who your fiduciary responsibility is, then we can't trust that you'll do what we need you to do. So I have documentation in the back that I will leave for you all. Thank you.
Ms. Miller. Next is Al Miller, and his topic is the land. I'm sorry?
I spoke for it. I tried to condense it.
Thank you. Next is Lori Cummings. Topic is the landfill.
Hi, I'm Lori Cummins, and I live in Bradford Place. We are completely against the landfill. I've lived there for 24 and a half years, and all we've done is smell the landfill like crazy. It's hard to go out in the summertime without smelling it. It's hard to go out in the wintertime without smelling it. You can go to Kroger on Memorial and smell it. And regardless if they spent $25 million, it has not helped. And everybody I've spoken to does not want to increase the landfill. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Michael Harris, and his topic is also the landfill.
I'm Mike Harris of Christiana. I'm going to speak on the landfill, and I know I'm an unpopular, going to have an unpopular comment, if you will. I've been in business for 20 years here in Murfreesboro, or in Rutherford County. Most of the commissioners know who I am. The topic is obviously the landfill. This evening, I'd like to talk about how Republic Services has proposed to the county an expansion. In my opinion, the expansion makes much more sense, or makes better sense, for the residents of Rutherford County. Considering the mayor's plan to close the landfill and transfer our trash to Marshall County, it would only buy the county some time. That's not a real solution. When the contract with Waste Management to haul our trash is up in 5 years, what is our option then? Waste Management could name their price. The county will have no other option at that point. The landfill will be gone, or not taking any more trash. So Waste Management can say, okay, guess what, guys? It's $300 a ton now. We have no choice. We're going to have to pay it. So that they can name their price. Furthermore, what if that landfill in Marshall County is faced with a closure in 8 years or sooner, and the residents around that landfill say, nope, no extension? Now the county's stuck again. We have to take our trash somewhere else. The next nearest landfill is 125 miles away, which is also owned by Waste Management. At that point, Waste Management got us again. Well, now it's $600 a ton to dispose of your trash. Like it or leave it. What are we going to do? Do we go 600 miles away? At what point does the county have anything to say or to do if we close this landfill? So I just don't understand. I sympathize with people that live out in that area and put up with that smell. Fortunately enough, I live in Christiana. I don't smell it. However, I do pay taxes in Rutherford County, and at what point do we make a decision on a real solution to solve our trash problem? We complain about Davidson County bringing trash to our landfill. Now we're going to do the exact same thing to Marshall County. We're going to carry our trash down there for a maximum of 8 years, according to TDEC. Then they'll be closed. Then we'll be carrying it out to Camden. I just, as a resident of Rutherford County, I'm just afraid that we are really messing up by eliminating the landfill. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, item J, elections and confirmations. Steering Vice Chairman Pettis Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Elections and confirmations. Item 1, elective notaries. Listings of notaries may be found in your iPads, Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, I move to confirm the election of these individuals as Rutherford County notaries.
I have a motion and a second to confirm the list of notaries. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you.
Item 2, steering would like to confirm the appointment of Jason Beavers to the Rutherford County Regional Planning Commission to fill the term of a retiring member. The term will end August 2027. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
I have a motion and a second to confirm the appointment of Jason Beavers to the Planning Commission. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you.
Item 3, steering wishes to announce 2 Agricultural Advisory Board vacancies, 1 farm woman, 1 farm man, which will be a 2-year term to end January 2027. Mr. Chairman, this concludes the business of elections and confirmations.
Commissioner Reed. Item K, resolution to approve our consent agenda. We'll call on our Chairman Pro Tem Trey Gooch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have reviewed the consent agenda. There's been no request. I find it all appropriate, so I'll move for its approval.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. If you don't mind, we'll be on the board for this, so if you would, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Item passes. We have no unfinished business. Item N, into our standing committee reports. Item N1, Budget, Finance, and Investment Committee, Chairman Robert P. And while Chairman P. is coming up, we've had a request to move an item from other business into the budget report, and without objection, I'll approve that.
Thank you, Chairman. Our first item tonight is budget item A, and be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the general fund be amended as follows. For juvenile court, a decrease in unassigned fund balance of $2,000 and an increased expenditures for library books for $2,000, and this is actually for a Westlaw subscription. Resolved this 13th day of February 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Second. Motion and a second. Questions, comments? Please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Item passes.
Budget item B, be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that your general fund be amended as follows. County Commission decrease expenditures under other charges of $5,000 and increase expenditures for travel of $5,000. Resolved this 13th day of February 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Questions? Cast your vote.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
Commissioner Oliver.
I didn't speak up quick enough. I just want to say that I am in favor of this. I think attending conferences is absolutely a best practice. And I even would go further and say maybe a senior commissioner and a junior commissioner attend. Just kind of wanted to put that out there, but I definitely wanted to speak in favor of this.
Other comments, questions? Seeing none, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
19 yes, 2 no.
Motion passes. Before we go into the next one, just to follow up on what Commissioner Oliver said, we really don't have a policy to apply for that and approve for that. So I've asked our steering committee to develop a policy so that a commissioner could fill out, in essence, a form, an application, if you please, for such a trip or involvement, and we'll get our county attorney involved in that as well. Thank you.
Budget item C. This has to do with the damage that we had at, I believe it's Stewart's Creek. One of our gym floors was damaged beyond repair, and this money would be coming out of the school's capital projects fund, which has already been funded, so no new money involved. Be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the Educational Capital Projects Fund be amended according to the schedule attached hereto as Exhibit 1 and incorporated herein by reference as if set forth herein at length verbatim. Resolved the 13th day of February 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move, and there's an attachment on the back, the next page, or on your iPads.
We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? Please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Passes.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate you letting us bring this forward. It should speed our process up just a little bit. We had an unfortunate accident where one of our front-end loaders that carries material from our schools for recycling was totaled. The driver was injured, but he is okay, last I've heard. So this resolution is to replace this vehicle that's badly needed. Be resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the Solid Waste Fund be amended as follows. For convenience, enters a decrease in assigned fund balance of $400,000, increase expenditures for motor vehicles of $400,000. Resolved the 13th day of February 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? Cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes our business for the Budget Committee tonight. Our next meeting is scheduled for March the 6th. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Safety, Chairman Pettis-Reed.
Mr. Chairman, our next meeting will be on a Monday evening, February the 24th at 5:30. Mr. Chairman, I will be asking for a member of our ambulance service to come forward this time to make a very short report to the group here. The commissioners have on their desk a feasibility study for the 6th Regional Forensic Center in Tennessee, and she's just going to make a brief explanation of this. There will be no votes this evening explaining this. I think some discussion did come out of the Budget Committee, but it also has been brought to the attention of Public Safety that an explanation of the Forensic Center will be coming up at this next meeting. So any of the commissioners that are here this evening would like to come and hear that,
on the 24th are welcome to be there. Just a reminder, and I'm just saying this on behalf of the Public Safety Committee, I've been involved as far as the Forensic Center about as long as anybody that's in here. In fact, I go back looking at the original white pages that we had here in this county, and it goes all the way back to Mayor Burgess. And I have seen those pages, and we have talked about a forensic center for a very long time. And then it come all the way down to Mayor Kelton, and now we're here talking about this too. Just a thought to you, just to think about this, commissioners. We are now the 4th largest county in state of Tennessee. Rutherford County, the 4th largest county. Out of those 4 counties, we are the only county that does not have a forensic center. We don't even have a morgue. And that is very surprising to a lot of people who have moved here. In 20 years, we'll have over 500,000 people here. This is just something to think about, and I have to tell you, every time on the television, like what we saw in Philadelphia the other night with the plane crashing there in apartments, what we saw in Washington, D.C., you need to remind yourself, we have 2 major airports. I mean, they may not be as big as Nashville, but they're good-sized airports, and they're growing every day. Murfreesboro and Smyrna. All it takes is for one airplane to crash within Rutherford County. We're now growing in density and population where storms come through. We have a major interstate, I-24. We have 840. We have a railroad track that goes through this town and through this county, carrying who knows what that goes through here. So we need to be thinking about this. Do we need a forensic center like all the others? But we need to be thinking about this in some way. I mentioned to somebody the other day that what do we do if we do have one of these major catastrophes? It becomes our responsibility. We found that out during COVID. It's not the federal government's total responsibility. It's ours. We found it out when we had a plane to crash out here in Percy Priest. We had 7 bodies in that. That was our responsibility that we had to deal with. When you have a plane that crashes that has 78 individuals, 200 individuals or what, that's our responsibilities. Where do they go? What do you do with them? In other areas across the country, they were taken to a high school gymnasium. When that happens, it's a possibility you lose the use of that gymnasium. There's a lot of things that's involved in this that when we had COVID, we had to go thinking about some of these things. So I suggest, as when you take an opportunity to read through this and see what's in here and what's involved, sort of think about these things and what's here. So I'm going to ask that Denise Martin, who is a member of our team out there, she's our supervisor of death investigation. She's also been involved with this about as much as anybody I know, and about the best expert that we have. I would call her the best in the state of Tennessee. So, Ms. Martin, we ask that you do this and make that brief report.
Make it brief. Thank you all. I will be very respectful of your time, but I do appreciate the opportunity to bring this important document to your attention. The mayor had asked that I distribute this. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. I said the mayor had asked me to distribute this to you all this evening, and I appreciate the chairman, Chairman Phillips and Chairman Reed agreeing to allow us to do this. This document is important, and we ask that you do read it ahead of the formal presentation for the Forensic Center project, because it will be a primary source of the justification for the need. I believe that when you read this, you'll understand that this was a feasibility study that was contracted for by the State Department of Health. It was a request by the governor's FSAG group, and I believe directly through Lieutenant Governor McNally, that had asked that this study be performed to see whether there's a need for a 6th regional forensic center in Tennessee. While I hope that you'll read the entirety of the document, I would like to draw your attention to certain highlighted paragraphs within the report that not only identifies this expert group and panel's determination that, yes, there does exist a dire need for a 6th regional forensic center, but that this 6th regional forensic center would be ideally located in Rutherford County. So there are several highlighted passages that I think is important to concentrate on. If there is any questions regarding the study itself, I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. But like I said, this is a source of the justification of the need. So we would want you to read this in anticipation of considering the project during the formal presentation, and hope that maybe this answers some of the questions that you may already have, but that it will generate some questions ahead of time. And I know that the mayor would welcome conversations with each and every one of you individually once you've had the opportunity to read it. Thank you. With your permission.
Kind of follow up with what they had actually Pedersen mentioned, Commissioner Reed mentioned that this was presented before the commission tonight so that we would have the information in advance of the presentations that will be made through the committee process in March, so or later on after this meeting. It's not for us to make any decisions. It's just for informational purposes only, and the Forensic Center will be presented through the committee process next month, actually. Very good. Item N3, Health and Education Committee, Chairman Phil Dodd.
Thank you, Chairman. If Vice Chair Wilson doesn't have anything, our only report is we will meet February 25th in these chambers at 5:30 p.m.
Thank you. Item N4, Property Management Committee, Chairman Alan McAdoo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next meeting will be Thursday, February 27th at 5:30 p.m., and I have no report tonight.
Thank you. Item N5, Public Works and Planning, Chairman Anthony Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have no report tonight, but our next meeting will be Tuesday, March the 4th at 5:30.
Thank you. Item N6, Steering Legislative and Governmental Committee, Chairman Craig Harris.
Commissioners, this is a resolution requesting the 114th session of the Tennessee General Assembly to allocate 1/2 of the real estate transfer tax to the county, whereas the tax was collected on a recurring basis. This is not a tax increase. Whereas for many years, the state of Tennessee has imposed a tax of 37 cents per $100 value of the privilege of publicly recording documents evidencing all transfers of realty, whether by deed, court, decree, partition deed, or other instruments evidencing transfer of any interest in real estate. Whereas, although this tax is collected locally, it is currently remitted to the state, and the revenue is not made available for use by local officials to address needs in the community where the tax is collected. Whereas county governments have few revenue options available to them for funding the many crucial governmental services mandated by state law and are therefore largely dependent upon property tax. If you want me to read this further, simply, we're trying to get a larger portion of the real estate transfer fee. So this will generate, I think, in millions of dollars. And the steering committee has been working on this for a while, and we feel that this needs to be passed. Be it further resolved, the county clerk certify and forward this resolution to the members of the Tennessee General Assembly representing Rutherford County. Be it further resolved that this resolution takes effect from and after its passage, the public welfare requiring it. Resolved this 13th day of February 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Have a motion and a second. Questions?
Mr. Chair. Just to reiterate, like Chairman Harris said, this is not an increase to a tax. It is the same amount of tax that is being done. It is changing the shared revenue portions to better benefit our local government. So just want to make sure that is known. This is not an increase to a tax.
Other comments?
Thank you.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
If I can ask Craig one general question about this topic. I applaud the gesture. I just want to know, because I'm going to follow up unless he's already has on it. Has anybody reached out to Dauburn's office to find out like the likelihood of the state pushing through? Is there, is the state showed any interest or willingness to pull some back already? You know, just trying to gauge that balance to see what the likelihood of any kind of numbers coming back in our possession from the...
Sure. The bill is sponsored in-house by Pat Marsh, who is Chairman Pro Tem, and the Senate is Jack Johnson, who is the Majority Leader. Based on what I've talked to, it has traction. The only problem that they're worried about is funding it. So we feel like this thing has got a really good chance. I mean, we have worked on this, 6 years? We've been trying to get this for a long time, and it's finally got traction, Joshua, but it's still going to come down whether Tennessee funds it. So, but it does have traction. Thank you. Anything else?
Thank you. I believe your next meeting is on March the 3rd.
I'm sorry, yes, sir.
Under other business, we have a solid waste budget fund amendment. I'm sorry, that was moved, my bad. Sorry. That actually brings us to the conclusion of our meeting. Shout outs.
I want to wish my wife happy Valentine's Day. We've been married 43 years, working on 44. I asked her today what she wanted. She said nothing. But I'm going to tell you, Chairman, kind of take a note, guys. Don't listen to that. But I'll further that a little. You know, like I said, I've been married 43 years. So one thing that I learned, in case my memory fails me, I go out and I buy some extra presents, and I stick them back in the closet. And in case I forget, oh, of course I've got something. Anyway, that's a clue some of you guys hadn't been married that long yet.
I had a couple of things I wanted to mention. I'm sure most of you probably got this card. The Teacher of the Year reception is going to be on the 25th at 4 o'clock at the Embassy Suites. And just wanted to remind everybody of that it's always good to recognize our teachers and our staff throughout. But with that also saying, today I stopped in. I had a meeting get rescheduled, and I was able to stop in. And I went to the workhouse, the reentry program, and I would advise everybody to make an appearance and really see this, because there are many different entities throughout our county and our state that are looking to try to help keep the, I always mess up pronunciation of the word, recidivism down, and help these people out as they're coming out. And it was a really kind of an eye-opener to see the presentation, what we put through, how we were going through as far as a county, and the feedback from the community trying to go in there and work with these. They have a reverse job fair on May 1st. I highly suggest you guys look at that and see if you can reach out to any companies that might be looking and inquiring to maybe attend that. That's a reverse job fair where they sell themselves and explain their skill sets so let the employers see instead of the other way around. So it was very intriguing, and I wanted to kind of give a shout out about that. Thank you.
James. Others? Commissioner
Yes,
Oliver.
Mr. Chairman. just to kind of go along with your Valentine's Day comment, I'll take personal privilege and speak for all women and say we want everything. Seriously. I'd like to shout out Rockville Middle School Counselor Jacqueline Patterson. She's Tennessee's School Counselor of the Year, and she was honored in Washington, D.C. With other school counselors from across the country. So shout out to Miss Jacqueline Patterson.
Others? Reed.
I just want to give a shout out to my two fellow commissioners sitting beside me. Some of you know I lost a lot of my hearing a few months ago, and they've been helping me tonight, punching me when I'm supposed to vote and when it's my time to stand up and say something. So I want to do a shout out to them. And those of you, see, tonight I sort of dressed for Valentine. But I was told by an older gentleman just this week, he said, you know, if you don't have a Valentine, really don't worry about that. Probably on Groundhog Day, you didn't have a groundhog either. So I just want to let you know, you don't have to worry about some of these things. Put in the perspective that you should do that. But happy Valentine's Eve for every one of you.
Thank you. Others? Let me just kind of follow up and wish my wife a happy Valentine's Day, too. Commissioner Reed forgot his hearing aids, left them at home. So did I. My wife brought them to me before the meeting. That's the reason I was standing out front. So thank you, honey. I appreciate that. Any others? Once again, thank you for your attendance tonight, your participation. It's always appreciated. With that, we are adjourned.